came across a post today on thedonald.win. If you've not been to thedonald.win yet, I'd be shocked that you're seeing this, but you've not been to thedonald.win, so go check that out. But you can see a post made just, maybe half a day ago now. This is a misspelling of crisis actors and just a bad take. But I think it's important to say two things here. One, crisis actors are real. It's a proven thing. We have real crisis actors that work in agencies that are asked to do things like this. But hear me right, I don't think that these people are fake nurses. Not because they look like flight attendants. Not because they're wearing skirts and these weird tight upper body things that don't at all look like nursing smocks that I've ever seen in the United States. Not because of any of those things. I don't think they're legitimate nurses strictly because they're not wearing masks. This looks much more like it was taken out of a commercial for a hospital long ago and then overlaid COVID-19 on top of it or something like that. But this person posted all the same an interesting thing that I'd never heard of before, accusing them of the Duper's Delight dance. Now, I thought maybe this was a legitimate dance. I don't know. I don't keep up with TikTok. So I didn't know if Duper's Delight was a dance or what it was. But I Googled what Duper's Delight was. So when I did my search, actually before hitting Google, the first thing I did was just to look on the Donald with their search function and see if that keyword of Duper's Delight came up anywhere else. And it did. It said, this is just from the other day. So just before this was posted, this said, from Duke65, understanding Duper's Delight. Evil people exhibiting great pleasure in deceiving honest people. So when the evil person looks upon the honest and sees that the honest person is believing what they're saying and absorbing it and moving forward on whatever premise they've just falsely delivered, then that person exhibits Duper's Delight. That glee, that smile, that arrogance, that smirk. You've just eaten what I fed you. That look of you just ate that line. Took that lie, hook, line, and sinker. And you can already kind of imagine or remember some of the people who we know have done this, who have exhibited this. The first one that came to mind for me, so I Googled Bill Gates Duper's Delight. This video comes up from BitChute. It's not from a big account, from World Citizen, has a handful of subs. It says, Bill Gates laughs, snickers, and giggles when he mentions vaccines, testing, and mass pandemics with COVID-19. So when he's asked about vaccines and he's telling you about how you'll have vaccines and then you'll have a vaccine passport and you'll have updates to the vaccine as new mutations and new COVIDs come out, and he's smiling the whole while. And so we thought it was weird before. What about this one? What about when you're asking the then president, Clinton, about the sexual relations that he'd had with Monica Lewinsky, and he says, I just want to say something about all this, and starts smiling as he delivers his well-rehearsed lie as an opening. It's not just Bill. Hillary does this. And you saw the write-up from Maclean's, as long as any AP source would run this story as as kind of a way to bash any criticism of Hillary Clinton. When people, right, and in the media it's many men, and some women, but many men had said, her smile is off-putting. Why is she smiling as she's being attacked? If Donald Trump is accusing her of something awful and ugly and evil, a normal person would shake it off and say, no, that's not real, that didn't happen. They would interrupt, they would be frowning, they would be mad, they'd be taking notes. Nothing like that from Mrs. Clinton. She instead was just smiling and nodding along and doing that weird thing that we all said, why is she smiling? Why is she seemingly absorbing these insults and critiques and just smiling along? It's because she's playing this con. She's playing this long con where she just smiles and absorbs it and allows people to digest that is true, but then she just says, no, that's not right, that's wrong. And the write-up is very interesting. This subversive debate smile of Hillary Clinton is a necessary accessory to a rhetorical and visual thrashing of Donald Trump. So they were agreeing with her that the way to win isn't necessarily to be right, it's just to visually be appealing and to use the right rhetoric. Speaking of someone who is neither visually appealing nor rhetorically competent, this is Eric Swalwell. Fartswell, right? And I found two different photos where he is obviously happy, right? He's smiling in both of these pictures. And I got to imagine in both, he is in some way feeling guilty or lying, or in one of them, and you'll have to guess which one, he's trying to cover a fart. And he's still smiling through it. I mean, that is the best example of Duper's delight from Fartswell. Here's James Comey giving you a little smirk while he's testifying to the fact that the FBI did not illegally wiretap or try to set up or entrap Michael Flynn or Donald Trump or anyone on the team. Remember when he said that under oath and then gave you that smirk? Now you know why. And you knew why then. I'm not trying to say that, you're stupid for not having known this before. I just didn't know that there was a name for it. It's called Duper's delight. And here you have Agent Peter Strzok doing that as well. We saw that. The arrogance flying super hard in the face of truth in that testimony. And then you have her. You have Christine Blasey Ford. They wrote Blasey fraud. That's funny. I didn't notice that when I took this image. It's not just funny, though. It's awfully sad. If you want to think of it that, I think it's sad. I think it's sad that we have people looking up to these individuals and thinking that they're honest. And again, the definition here, when evil people exhibit great pleasure in deceiving the honest people. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." So what is Duper's delight? Or duping delight? It is the pleasure of being able to manipulate someone, often made visible by flashing a smile at an inopportune or inappropriate moment. So this shows you Bill Gates giggling through the interviews and talking about different liars about evidence, saying, "Oh, they don't have any evidence," and "Oh, that's not true." Meanwhile, the entire way through, he is saying things that aren't true, and he's smiling to you as you absorb it and accept the premise because he's the expert. Remember, he got busted for antitrust stuff with Microsoft. Said that, well, first what I do is I introduce viruses, and then I sell the antivirus software. And they said, you can't do that, that's illegal. And he had to stop doing that and pay a bunch of fines. And then he got into medicine. And now he's the guy selling vaccines. He's literally selling the antivirus. Do you think he wouldn't have a hand in at least creating or setting up a concoction for the creation of a virus? Come on. So you have more people doing this in more high positions of power. You see Mark Zuckerberg there kind of smiling and grinning. I would say that's more of a grin. You have the other, Jack Dorsey, he's smirking. And that's not the worst of them. I mean, you get people that literally get away with murder and smile it off. Again, the Duper's delight is hard to hide. And it's pointed out not just by me. I mean, other people have pointed this out. More people in better positions to know better than I. But I just thought it was exciting to point out, like, hey, there's actually a name for what you call this phenomenon. And they can use science to point out that certain people are lying and excited that you're buying the lie, so they smile right in the middle of you buying the lie, which gives away the lie in the first place. Jesse Smollett, Juicy Smollett. But again, many powerful, high up, well-to-do, executive type, the people who are too big to fail, the protected class, they do this a lot. They do this all the time. So I thought I'd point that out. That is called Duper's delight. When you smile at somebody as you lie to them, and you're not smiling because you're trying to sell the lie. The smile is more sinister because you are actually unintentionally giving away that you're lying. You are subconsciously smiling because you're happy that they're buying the lie. It would be more convincing if the actors and actresses who are lying to you would look stern and stoic and convinced of what they were saying. But instead, they're just seeing you absorb the fact that their authority is dictating to you something. You're absorbing that something and moving forward with the premise that they just delivered to you. And so they're smirking at you. They're smiling, going, yeah. And now next what I'll say is this, because I know that anything else I give you, you'll absorb. That's what they say. That's what that is. And there's a name for it. It's Duper's delight. I just thought that was interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like this video. Share this video with someone that did not know the name for what this looks like. Or this. Or this. or this, or this, or this, or these, or that one, or any of the others. Let me know what you think in the comments. Share this video. Subscribe to the channel so that you can be sure to stay in touch with any other dupers that we find out about. And then do everything else that you can do to keep America afloat.